Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the Aftershow for Queen Sugar, Episode 5, By Any Chance. Stay tuned for more. Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the Aftershow for Queen Sugar, where tonight we started off hot, so we can't wait to get into it. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Hi everybody, I'm Kelli Scates. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Urban Gypsy LA.
Hey y'all, I'm Anjy Scates, and you can find me on Twitter at Anjy_Skates and on Instagram at big_Anj.
Well, yeah, it's good that we're smiling now, because this episode got heavy pretty quick.
It was so heavy.
I got comfortable. I sat in the chairs ready to sit down, and all of a sudden we're back into, the white cops and the black or white perpetrators versus black perpetrators, and what happens to them for committing the same crimes.
Yes.
What did you guys think about that opening scene?
I was exhausted, especially with everything that's going on today. I'm tired. Like, it's something that is, it's systematic as far as, the trumped up charges for, young people of color. And I'm tired. How you feel?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I came in kind of like on the edge of my seat, but at the same time, like, man, again, we have to talk about this again. But it's definitely something that is obviously current. And I thought it was interesting though, like how they end up showing that Nova is trying to fight for everybody, but she's also the one supplying the substance that can get them caught up.
I think it makes a statement about, what they choose to criminalize, the kind of behavior that they choose to criminalize. It affects people that, are often in impoverished environments or that are often people of color. And I feel like if the justice system didn't criminalize these behaviors, because marijuana is legal in a lot of different states, and it has a lot of healing capacity. So I feel like it's a double standard, and that's what Nova's whole argument is about.
Yeah, with what happens to the white kid that commits the same crime.
Exactly.
Here they're going to send this guy to an adult prison, and this guy would probably get probation, a slap on the wrist.
Right.
And so what I love, though, about this episode, which was surprising, was I was standing up for the cops a little bit. It was nice to hear Calvin's perspective, and especially the fact that Nova knows she's with a good man who's a cop as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good man, but he is a cheating man. He's cheating on his wife, right?
He's cheating.
That's still a thing.
That aside.
So his moral compass is still a little in question, maybe. But I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, to hear the argument of a white cop at that,
Yeah.
and for it to be legitimized, like, I could see where he's coming from completely.
Yeah, you can tell he really wants to help and he wants to be there for Nova. He also admits in this episode that he loves her. So on that part, I'm like,
I think she freaked out too, because
Yes.
she asked for that key back. Like,
Yeah.
But I think she asked for the key because she's explaining her truth. Specifically, she used those words. She's explaining it again, and then he used that against her. Like, well, you're the same one that's selling them the marijuana. So I feel like it was one of those things like, you don't get it, you're not gonna get it, and I'm tired of explaining myself to you.
do you think that comes just with like interracial dating, or is it just?
Well, I think interracial dating, interracial friendships, because I've had those moments where I've had very close white friends, and you say, you know what, I do want to share this with you, but I don't know if it can resonate with you, and then you share it, and they just don't get it.
Yeah.
And you're like my best friend, but you just don't get it.
Yeah. And I think Nova's tired like we are at this point. Like, what can we do at this point,
Yeah, there was that line about, I think he said every time a cop goes to work, he's praying and everyone's praying that they come back home safe. And she's like, that's every day for us.
Yeah.
And I think that was that line really resonated with me.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like they choose to be cops.
Yeah.
We don't get to choose this.
We just like to. But I just love that dynamic that they showed both sides, so it's not just so one-sided,
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have Goldie and Charlie. That that shocked me off the bat that she even went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
I mean, shoot. I've never been married in that situation, but I've been the woman in Charlie's shoes before, and we do that.
Oh no, I'm not surprised that she did it. I just didn't know that it was about to happen
So
then
soon.
in that way.
Yeah.
I thought the Goldie was going to seek Charley out. I didn't know Charley was just going to show up to her house.
Now, do you think Charley went there to really kind of like strike a deal, or did she really want to know? Did she have some doubt? No, did she have some doubt about what actually happened?
Oh, I think she definitely has doubt. I think at this point she feels that there's something still that Davis is keeping, and I feel like part of her wants to get to the bottom of it. The other part wants for this to go away.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a mixture of both too. She wants it to go away, but she wants to go see for herself and talk to the girl herself because clearly Davis isn't giving the full story.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like she wants to salvage the relationship if it can be salvaged, but the truth isn't all on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt for me, it kind of challenged my ideas. Yeah, we can look at, a prostitute can be raped, 100%, yes. And you can look at that in a very intellectual way. But just as I was watching the show, I was thinking, prostitute, sex worker, rape. And then, when she said you can't unrape someone, that really hit home to me.
Yeah, and it's like just the fact that because she's a sex worker doesn't automatically say that there's no way that she can reasonably be raped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it calls into question the rights of women regardless of their profession. They have rights.
Or the clothes you wear, your persona.
Right. Or however much you drink in public, whatever it is.
Yeah, I was surprised at Charley's response, though, when she called her out, basically saying, like, a sex worker is a prostitute. So basically saying, like, you didn't get raped.
Because this is what you do.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, shoot, Charley. Like, but the part that, where it got deep is when she started talking to the lawyer about what happened. And the lawyer was basically saying that she's white when she's not white. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of brings you back to the idea of, like, you can litigate in the press. And the optics of a situation, what'd you say? He's OJ without a knife.
Yes.
Like when I heard that, what did you guys think about? 'Cause I thought just about the vilification of these sort of like black men that are prominent.
I think it happens, and she talked about it with her son in the previous episode about black men being demonized, especially a man that has economic wealth and social standing. In a situation like this, they're vilified, most definitely.
And she says Melina's not white, and then the lawyer goes, but she's not black. So, and it's like, whoa.
Because we in this country, I feel like we always want to see things so white versus black. So if you're Hispanic, it's white versus black.
Right.
We kind of saw that a little bit with George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin.
Right. Right.
So it touched on a lot of issues, and then we had Ralph Angel, and his whole situation and.
Yeah, with his employer. Yeah. Right?
So it looks like he might be headed down a dark path.
Yeah, and it's not even something, I feel like it's out of his control because he's doing everything that he can. He's showing up to work, putting in his 40 hours, and he's like, yo, what did the manager say?
Him for 32
2 hours.
He said freedom ain't free.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is that something that happens with people that have that have records?
I assume they're continually mistreated.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not always treated like human beings. They're treated like convicts, you know?
I never thought about how it works with their employers. I guess if that man is employing all convicts, it's like, who's going to check him?
Yeah, and they also know that, where else are you going to get employed?
Exactly.
So I can take advantage.
Right. Which then gets him tied up with that other guy who is like trying to help him get money on the side.
But we already don't like him because he made him waste $15,000 on the sugarcane. Yeah. And then Ralph Angel told him no, he wasn't with the business. And then he goes to his locker, and then there's something in his backpack, and he obviously might still be with the business because he takes the backpack.
Yeah. Because then at that point it's like, how do you get it out of your backpack?
Yeah.
He set him up.
Yeah, I'm nervous for that, but we'll get into predictions later. So what did you guys think about the relationship between Micah and Davis?
So,
I feel like that's just karma. I feel like Davis still has his naive thoughts that like it's just gonna go back to how it used to be, and he doesn't realize how much his actions has affected his entire family, including his son. So I just think it's karma. It's like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I think that he is wanting to reconnect with his son, and Charley made him see a therapist. So he's like, no, I don't need to talk to you because I'm already talking to somebody for that. And I think that brings up another important issue, especially in the Black community, how mental health is often stigmatized.
Yeah.
You know, we're not often, you know, taught or encouraged to seek out, you know, therapists, psychologists, things like that. So I don't know how I feel about it. Like, does it negate the need for him to talk to his dad? Obviously not, but there's other things going on here. I don't know.
Yeah, David seems like he's in the doghouse with everyone right now.
Sure.
As he should be, though.
He deserves it. He needs to open up. We're still missing something from you. There's like, it's not gelling, Davis. So I'm going to need you to speak on up.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't had his sort of breakdown moment and acknowledged the truth of the fact of what's happening.
No, he's not.
He has not. He's still on the surface with everything, and very much so. Like, okay, let's just go eat dinner. And who wants to eat dinner with you?
Like you destroyed the family.
I can't even leave the house.
We have a meal fit for kings downstairs. Yeah. Like, that doesn't matter anymore. All the riches and the material things don't matter when the foundation of the family has now been broken because of your actions, you know?
That's what I love about this show. Like, it really goes in deep to the Black family dynamic, and that's everything. It's everything.
It affects how you move in the world. It affects your growth. It affects just having family. Like, if you do happen to go to jail, having family, it can break the family, or having family might help you get through that sentence, you know?
Yeah.
Like Auntie Vi, she's having a hard time at work, you know, with her young manager. And she goes home, and Charley and Nova's there, and they have that great scene, like the sisterhood.
I love that scene.
That was my favorite scene, because that was the moment we all got to go, oh.
Yeah, just relax a little bit and enjoy each other's company. And those are
guys talking about sex, and they're like,
and those are the moments that we really get to recharge and reconnect with our higher selves, and give us that strength to go back into the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I that's why I think it was such an important scene, because it's not always white versus black, and and this system structure is holding this down. Sometimes you have to have those moments where you really connect.
Yeah,
and so that was just so refreshing to see. But we know it's going to be a little short-lived maybe for V in Hollywood. Yeah. So that's just a twist they threw in, just like kind of subtle, but like what?
Yeah, because like what you married? It's like, okay, y'all are separated, but boo, you still married.
But I knew something was gonna happen, because when they were on the phone, I don't know if you guys noticed the way the camera work was. The camera was coming from like far back and kind of like zoomed in, almost like a horror movie. And I'm like, why are they doing that camera work right now? Like, they're in love. Why do I feel scared? Yeah. And then we find out he's in the psych ward. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I thought it was for him at first.
Yeah, I thought that too. I'm like, oh Lord.
It's the last thing we need. We're going through so much at the Bordelon house. Like, dang.
But they introduced Erica Alexander, who's awesome. We remember her from Living Single.
Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. It's my favorite television character.
It was so good to see her just appear on screen. Like, what?
Yeah. All good. Even in the psych ward.
Right? She didn't age a bit. But I also think it's interesting, too, their dynamic. They clearly still have, like, an amicable relationship. And obviously it's not going to work out as far as their intimacy, their romanticism with each other. But they
will it?
I don't know, because they still have a really solid connection. Mm-hmm. But it also brings up, again, the mental health issue, especially with Black women. Mm-hmm. And not to say that Black men don't either, but I'm a woman, so I'm going to speak from that perspective. But it's something that we don't get encouraged to seek a lot of help with, you know? Yeah. And she's bipolar, and like, how many of us could be, suffering from some of the same kind of ups and downs and the highs and lows with all of the things that we have to deal with in life.
And if there's that stigma, because a lot of times if you're suffering from mental illness, it's really your family that's got to take you. So if there's that stigma and everyone's acting like you're fine, then you're kind of really in a bad place.
Yeah. So I think it's good that she does have Hollywood there. Right. And even though it makes me cringe a little bit.
I'll tell you, I felt a lot of chemistry just on screen between them. When she looked up and said, "You came to get me," like, I felt an immediate connection between them.
For sure.
So I don't know how that's going to turn out.
I feel like we, in this instance, we also see the importance of marriage and how marriage is a business, because he says we're not together, we're separated, but we're still together because she needs the insurance.
Yeah.
And so I think we sleep on how much like that union, sometimes you need it in order just to have benefits or just to, you know what I mean? Like you sometimes you get stuck in marriages, because of the financial things that are connected to it.
Like, who marries for love?
And
most people
hoping we're not too cynical.
Most people say like the first time you marry for love, the second time you marry for finances, because that's one of the major reasons why marriages fail. So it's just interesting.
So as you wisen up, you get married for the money.
Yeah.
She kind of looked like Auntie Vi to me too.
She looked like a younger version of her. Just like,
yeah.
So we don't know how that's going to end up, but
Hollywood.
Because she don't look like she's done with him. Like
Oh,
she looks
she's
like she
definitely-
needs him,
yeah.
you know?
and she's on suicide watch, so he's going to probably feel some sort of like
Obligation.
Yeah.
Because he does still have love for her. So
Yeah.
you don't want to you don't want to get a call later that she killed herself because you didn't pick up your phone because you were with Auntie Vi.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
we also don't like him lying to Auntie Vi.
Oh no, he has
either.
to come clean.
Yeah. So it looks like she knows nothing.
At all.
Yeah.
But she feels something.
Yeah.
She knows something is up because she was asking him not to go back on the oil rig or this or whatever he does. And
And he's always there, and he
Yeah.
hasn't been answering his phone. He's not showing up, so it's kind of like, okay,
like-
your routine is changing. What's really going
what's
on?
happening?
And this might be when she needs him most because she just mentally been kind of broken when she sees her friends and they're reminiscing about how they've made it in their lives, and she feels like she hasn't, or at some point maybe since she owned this diner. What did you guys think about that scene?
I can relate in a lot of ways. Sometimes I look at the journey or the success of my friends, and I know that we all started in the same place, and just to see how in different places in our journeys that we are, it can be a little intimidating sometimes. So I totally like that scene was Black girl magic. Hey!
Yeah, I love they brought that up.
Like, but in all different shapes and forms and different parts of the journey, like it's all magic.
I was just saddened by it because it was, you could see that she was embarrassed, and so and then she ends up quitting that job.
Yeah.
Good move or bad move?
Good move.
Good move, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like she maybe doesn't have the education, so to speak, but she has the life experience, and she's a good person. I think that she'll be okay.
I'm worried for her because I feel like she quit that job knowing she had a good man at home. Do you know what I mean? When you know you have that foundation to always go back to.
And you got a little wiggle room.
Yeah,
that's
and not even just a financial foundation. She just knows she has that emotional support.
Exactly.
And so, but that's probably going to be split, you know.
That makes all the difference.
It
Like,
does.
because Hollywood loving on Auntie Vi, Hollywood is loving on Erica Alexander's character. Like, that love in those situations makes a difference. They can make or break you.
Because if Hollywood was in the one who's bipolar, if he was in her life, she would be better. You know what I'm saying? So like, it does make a difference. Love is the healing component.
And so, we saw Ralph Angel get kind of swindled for $15,000, but it looks like Charley gets swindled for like $125,000. So, what did you guys think about the whole tractor auction? She pays what, double for the tractor essentially?
I think it's pride that's getting all up in Charley's way. She didn't even bid on the tractor that used to be her dad's, and Ralph Angel was pissed about that. But
As he should be.
yeah, like it's a family heirloom, I guess, so to speak. And she didn't even consider that, and then she got swindled out of this money. So Remy's pissed off at her now too,
Yeah.
and then she lost the manager for the sugar farm. So it's just like, Charley, you have to humble yourself. I mean, yeah, you're a master businesswoman, but you're in a whole different league, so you have to humble yourself and take notes.
I feel like we just see in this episode how much Charley thinks money fixes things too. Like almost kind of like Davis, like thinking like, oh, she can go pay off this girl and she'll be quiet. Oh, I can just, boss up on you and buy this tractor because I can. But it's like, no, that's not how we do it here. And you have to finesse it in a different way.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's happened to their money because it seems like they might have to tighten things up.
Yeah,
But he's
she's
been an
just
NBA
spending.
player though for so long. Shouldn't he have just like almost hundreds of millions.
Well, I mean, he's losing endorsements, though, so we don't know. That's why it's kind of scary, the way she's just spending money as if she has this endless amount. It's like, no, that money might be drying up.
The train might just completely stop.
And she kind of just agrees to the $3 million, too, right?
For Goldie, yeah. But I would think it would be a small amount, but I don't know.
I don't know. $3 million seems like a lot to pay off somebody, especially if your husband did rape her. Like, what kind of a woman could do that and, like, live with that decision, you know?
Well, I think the woman that believes he didn't rape her.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we?
Were you surprised at all that she came back for $3 million, Goldie, with that offer?
Again, I don't know that if I was in Goldie's situation that I could be bought off either. Like, it would be about more than just money. I don't know.
I didn't trust it. I feel like she, like, I don't know. This is part of my predictions, I guess. I feel like she's almost recording the conversation or something and just kind of trying to prove that they're trying to pay her off to prove that that they are in the wrong. You know?
Maybe gearing up for like more bad press for David so that they can even get more money from him.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, if she was in a situation where she was raped, how could you put a price tag on that?
I think she's smarter than we think, because even Charley tries to play her with her not whether or not she knows that word. She tries to define it. She's like, I know what that means. So I think we're underestimating her character.
I mean, we say she's a sex worker. Nobody says she's dumb.
Exactly.
And maybe that part of the point is that because you do certain jobs doesn't mean that you just want money or that you're stupid or that you can't be raped.
Yeah, like clearly she's not American, so who knows why she's doing this work. She literally might just be doing it to help her family, you know? Like, we're just assuming she's nothing.
But she seemed like she living just fine, though.
Yeah, she just seemed she was living fairly comfortably.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, let's go into predictions.
Well, that's one of my predictions. I think she's like trying to set it up in a way. I think there's still way more to that story, and that she's smarter than we think. Just looking at the previews, clearly Ralph Angel's about to get into some mess, and I think I just think that coworker of his is really punking him into some like messy situations.
He's trouble for sure.
Yeah.
I think Ralph Angel's definitely going to get into some trouble. I think that the siblings will find out that they are stronger together, the power of three, than, all separate. I think that we are also going to, Micah's going to move to the South, and I think that Remy's going to step up and try to kind of put together some kind of semblance of a family back in Louisiana.
I like that one.
Yeah. And I think Auntie Vi is going to get a new lease on life, and she's really going to find her own, without Hollywood, because I feel like when that truth comes out, she's going to have no choice but to figure out something else for herself.
Yeah, I think on that note, I think they're probably going to end up living all three together. I think they're going to be able to work it out in that way, because I was a little surprised that Hollywood was able to reject her advances. This is someone you've had this history with, and she's vulnerable. So I was shocked that he was able to do that. So I think he's the kind of person that we will say, look, I love her in this way, and I love you in this way, and I need to be there for her.
So you think Auntie Vi, Hollywood, and his wife are going to live together?
Yeah, that's
interesting.
I feel like Auntie Vi is going to find out, and I'm curious to see, I feel like she has such a big heart that she might be willing to be there for her. I don't know if she'll go as far as living with her, but I think she might
end up taking care of her.
Befriending her, yeah.
Because someone should be living in the house with her, because she's really kind of 24/7.
True.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That's a good one, Shaka.
Well, and then obviously Ralph Angel's going down.
Going down.
I want to believe that he's not gonna go down a path that's gonna land him back in jail. Which I don't want to prepare for that episode if that happens.
Right.
But it shows you almost the helplessness and hopelessness sometimes if you've committed something wrong in your past and just trying to get back up to level, really.
Yeah. Maybe this time Nova will fight for him.
Well, I don't know, because Nova looks like she's in her own fight right now, and how does she deal with kind of being separated from who she's with? And so I feel like we had a lot of like people breaking off and not having that person that they need to be their support.
They're gonna find it in each other.
Gotta come together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, by any chance, can you be there for me? Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Well, I guess that's it for the episode. We just want you guys to join us back next week. Queen Sugar, same time, same place. We have a lot coming up. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
I'm Kelli Scates. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Urban Gypsy LA.
And I'm Anjy Scates, and you can find me on Twitter at Anjy_Skates.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African-American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagramming at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood
Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.